Hello and welcome everybody to this week's video. Today I want to work with a color palette that I haven't really worked with much at all since I started painting again and putting my videos up here on YouTube. I am working with the Hahnemühle watercolor paper, and I have already taped it off to an approximate 8x10 workspace. This is just regular painter's tape that I use, by the way, and I got a similar tape, let me show you, at Blick's, which is, I think that's a quarter size. It's, I think, about half the size of the regular 1-inch. So that would make it a ½ inch, wouldn't it? You know what I mean. It's a perfect size for this size paper to make it an 8x10. I taped it on the back side because it gives it a little bit more texture. There's a little bit rougher texture on the back side than on the front, and I kind of like that. But what I will do is I will make the back side wet to the point where the paper will be curling up this way a little bit. It will help keep my paints wet a little bit longer, and it also helps straightening out the paper again once I start working on the front. Otherwise my paper will be curling as I'm working with it, and I personally don't like that. I purchased the permanent red. I also brought out the Aussie Red Gold and the Da Vinci Quin Gold. I'm gonna be using that as an accent and just to brighten things up a little bit. And then I'll bring in the usual culprits of my Posca pens, black and white, my dotting tools, and the golden acrylic gold to put some dots on it. And then for accents, because you know when I work this way, I've been saying in order for the big bolder parts to be a little bit less see-through, it would be nice to maybe use gouache color. And I opened up my gouache set, and I have been trying it out a little bit. These three reds are really, really nice. So I want to see if working with the gouache set helps me achieve a more opaque look for those elements that I will put on top. So that's basically what today is going to be like. So as you can see, the paper is kind of curling this way, but now that I'm putting water on the front, it will lay flat again. And that also helps with the overall waviness of the paper in the end. I do want to knock down some of that water though. I don't think I need all of that. And then the gouache set came with a palette, so I just want to put some of that red Daniel Smith paint, and we'll do the other ones too while we're at it. I'm not planning on using a lot, but it's nice to have it out and ready to go, I suppose. All right, my main focus is the red. So I'm gonna go ahead and load my brush. And then I really like, let me show you, I really like the lightness that I was able to achieve of this one, and the sort of darker parts on the bottom. So I kind of want to work like that again. And if I feel like it, if this is too bright, this red, I might bring in just a darker color, maybe a purple, just to bring out those darker, moodier parts out a little bit more. But this is all I do. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna bring this here. Alright, I really like the Indanthrone blue, but I think for this one, I'm going to bring in just a little bit of that Mayan dark blue. Let me see what that looks like if I mix that in with the red. I don't need a lot. Gotta work a little bit quickly here. Oh yeah, I kind of like that. I love that red, but it is a little bit still on the bright side. I just have some of my dirty water here on the side as well. And I'm going to bring in some more of that red. I want bits of really bright red in here as well. So this might be a good one. And now let's bring in some of that yellow. Oh, that's nice. Let me do a little bit more of that Quin Gold on its own. There's a hair or some fuzz. There we go. All right, let's, there. I think that's better. Yes. Okay. It was a little bit too blue. That's good. I have a darker spot here, which I like. I have the lighter ones. Now, as the colors are drying, I want to make sure that they're drying nicely. And by nicely, I mean, I don't want any pooling. I don't want any weird transitions. That is such a nice yellow. I really like that. There's not a lot of water on my paper, and if you've been with me for a while, you know that I usually tend to work with quite a bit of water on my paper, so I'm trying to be a little bit more conservative lately. All right, a little bit more of that Quin Gold. I like that it's lighter over here, but I had some on this side. You know, regardless of what I do, I always end up with too much paint in my palettes, and then I end up needing to finish them up somehow. I just started crocheting again, and I'm making these baskets out of leftover yarn to use up the yarn that's been laying around. And of course, you end up either getting more yarn from friends, or, you know, I went to Savers and I bought some more yarn because what I have is clearly not enough, and or not the correct shade. So I keep buying more yarn, and I keep making more baskets because of the yarn that I still have. So it's just one of those things. So I brought this element here. I don't know why. I just felt like extending that line. And maybe bring in a little bit more yellow. So I don't have a lot of interest to go by for my next layer, and I'm wondering if I should just leave it like that, because that's usually what I do. I usually put some blobs in. There's a lot of fuzz on my paper, which is very distracting. But maybe we'll just leave it like that and see where that takes us. But I really like how this looks, and I'm gonna let this dry now. And once it's completely dry, I will come back in and do the next layer. For you, this will be right after this. For me, I'm gonna have to probably let this dry for a good half a day. All right, I will be right back. It is now fully dry. So now we just need to continue with the theme and make this come to life even more. So the next step is bringing in the gouache. Some of them, as you can see, the binder has separated a little bit from the color, and so I do need to stir it up a little bit. I want to work with these three reds the most. I think we're off to a good start, so I'm just gonna keep working, and if I have something to say, I will pop in, but other than that, I'm just gonna keep working, and I want to enjoy the process from here on out. I hope you will too. I'm excited for this, and we'll reconvene, or I'll give you my final thoughts or something. Okay, off I go. this is what I came up with for this background. I really like how this turned out. They're not my colors at all, but I'm very happy with the outcome, and I think it ties in really well with the other ones that I've done. So continuing in this theme is very satisfying. I like having a little collection of paintings that, I don't know what I'm going to do. I might make a calendar out of it for next year again. I really enjoyed putting that together for this year. I'm going to continue with this style for a little while longer, and I think next time I want to do something a little bit more in the green, because I have a lot of blue. This one has green, but it also has a lot of blue in it. So I am thinking I might want to do a green one. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the series. Let me know, because if you don't want to see any more of this, then I'll just do them for myself. I am going to say goodbye here. Have a wonderful weekend wherever you are in the world. I hope you get to do something creative at some point, and I will see you next week with a brand new video.